Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living of Columbia and Greater Baltimore. What is today? August 22nd. This morning I am reading from The Laws of Spirit, A Tale of Transformation. Powerful Truths for Making Life Work. And this is written by Dan Millman, author of Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And I opened it up this morning to page 73. And it happens to be at the beginning of a chapter. And it says this: The law of action, moving into life. No matter what we feel or know, no matter what our potential gifts or talents, only action brings them to life. Many of us understand concepts such as commitment, courage, and love, but we truly know only when we can do. Doing leads to understanding, and action turns knowledge to wisdom. I'm going to read that again because a big semi went by in the middle of that, and I don't know how much of that got blocked out. The law of action, moving into life. No matter what we feel or know, no matter what our potential gifts or talents, only action brings them to life. Many of us understand concepts such as commitment, courage, and love, but we truly know only when we can do. Doing leads to understanding, and action turns knowledge to wisdom. What immediately comes to mind is I can sit on the shore and stare across the ocean, and I will never go anywhere until I leave the shore, until I take action. I can sit on a dock with all of my fishing gear. I can read all of the books that I can find on fishing. But until I actually put my fishing gear into use, I will never experience fishing. I will never know what fishing actually is. I, I think sometimes we get stuck in our thinking. That it's like that spinning wheel of a tire, or spinning tire when we're stuck in the mud, right? It's a whole lot of energy. Our foot's on the gas, right? We're thinking a lot. We're revving up our thinking, but we're just spinning and not moving. And I wonder if that is motivated by our fear of failure. If I used to be afraid to tell anybody what I dreamed about. And then even when I told a few people, I was terrified to act on it. And what I eventually came to understand is that if I acted on my dream and failed, I had nothing left. This is what I was telling myself, that I had nothing left. But if I never acted on it, if I never took the chance, I always had the dream. And so I still had my dream. And there was so much fear and doubt in me I oftentimes didn't even try because it was more important for me to have the security and safety of the dream than to take the risk of making the dream come true. So that's what comes alive in me reading this, is finding that place where taking the risk to move into action is more compelling than the safety of not trying. Yeah, it's a tender place. It's a tender place, and it's a place I suspect all of us recognize at some point. So that is all that I have to share. So I'm going to read it one more time and take us into our meditation. The law of action. Moving into life. No matter what we feel or know, no matter what our potential gifts or talents, only action brings them to life. Many of us understand concepts such as commitment, courage, and love, but we truly know only when we can do. Doing leads to understanding, and action turns knowledge to wisdom. One, one life, one power, one presence, one substance, one omnipotence, one omniscience, one omnipresence, one God, one peace, one love, one light, one. Whatever we call it, energy, spirit, Buddha, Allah, whatever we call it. It is beyond a name. It is so much more. It is creation itself. Creation being the physical expression of this one. It is diversity. It is. It simply is. And I recognize that being made out of it, I must contain it. I must be inseparable from it in the truth of one, in the truth of a wholeness. So everything that is true of me must be true of every expression. This one, everything, expressing itself in the multiplicity of form that we call creation. And so every element of creation must contain this infinite beingness, this infinite everythingness, inseparable. And so I must be inseparable from all. That beyond the appearance of individuality, beyond the appearance of separation in form, at the core, at the essence of our being, there is no separation. There can be no separation in one. And so I know that the individualized me is a part of a whole, is a cell in the body of a whole, is a function in a wholeness, a necessary element of the harmonious operation of one. And that as I risk growth, I grow. As I risk expansion, I expand. As I risk my dream and my desire, new dreams and new desires open within me. As I open the flow, as I remove the barriers of resistance to the flow of who I am by taking action. When I risk getting wet by getting off the shore to explore the horizon, I am grown by that process. And I am grown by simply experiencing more of the divine self that is the essence of my being. Experiencing more of the body, the wholeness of creation. Experiencing a greater kinship with every individualized expression of life. So I choose action today. I choose awareness of all of the places where I have written a narrative of comfort that keeps me limited. I claim an awareness of every place that I am mentally arguing for my limitations in unawareness, or in fear of vulnerability, or any other random human excuse. I choose to become aware of that activity now so that I can choose from an informed place to move through and beyond resistance, to move out of the comfort zone into an expanded experience of life. I say yes. Yes to being more than my brain ever imagined I am and can be. Yes to a greater experience of life in ways and forms and means and relationships that I can't even imagine because I'm imagining from the past. So I open to the newness of action, the newness of connection, the newness of a spiritual safety where risk isn't even a thing. And as I risk, what I risk is releasing human doubt, human limitation, mental healing, the activity of action. So I say yes. And I celebrate that the yes is already made so. That the desire to grow is already made manifest. That the activity of law, the doer of creation, the example of doing life, has already received that impress and made the way, laid the path before me, already worked out the details. So I show up to experience. And as I move forward, I release over and over again any thought resistance that comes up, any doubt that comes up, anything that would impede a full experience of this word spoken. I let it go. I let it go. Over and over again, I let it go until the full healing is manifest. I let it go. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.